Hey yo, what's going on? Hopping on, getting ready to get myself a paper because that's what I'm getting ready to do. Getting ready to go through the last bit of the list that I first imported into my texting platform. If you watched any of my other videos, you'll know that I made a mistake. I accidentally imported a list that had landlines as well, so it's being texting the landlines and it's wasting a little bit of money, but I just didn't feel the need to go through, you know, export the list, clean it, re-import it, because on the first day I had already texted through like the first 100 people, and the list was less than 1,000. So I just told myself that I would have a little bit of a hands-on approach just to get through these ones. And I say hands-on approach because I'm pretty much uh, going through every text individually to make sure whether or not it's being sent to a landline or a mobile. If it's being sent to a landline, I try the next number in line, because I have three numbers, up to three numbers per property. So yeah. So again, but it is wasting money texting through those landlines the first time through. But I have another list that I just got in there yesterday that's kind of ready to go after I get through these last ones. So I have 140 records that I'm going to put into my campaign right now. This is an absentee list. I pulled this list a while ago. It's at least, what am I trying to say? At least out of county absentee owned. Absentee, for those who don't know, meaning that the owner of the property does not actually live there. So for the most part, it's like a rental. They rent it out. They have tenants living there, or it could be like a second home, a vacation home. But in my market, for the most part, it's a rental if they don't live there themselves. And that's the difference again between owner occupied versus absentee owned. And so this one is at the very least out of county absentee owned, meaning like their primary residence isn't like right down the block from this house. It's at least in a different county. And some of these are also out of state absentee owned in this list. This is a list that I went through and cold called a while back that I, when I went to go switch dialers from Mojo to Call Tools, I grabbed all of the properties that I have not gotten a hold of any of the owners yet, so that way I can use those lists. I didn't want them to go to waste. I also made a little edit to my text campaign now. It used to be on like a 30-day drip where they would get some texts, some ringless voicemail drops throughout 30 days, but I shortened it to 20 days just because for me, I don't really have the budget to be like texting them forever, right? So I just shortened it a little bit. I got rid of like one or two texts per person. So I just at the campaign level, I got rid of like two texts, and that way also I can. What I plan to do is push them through SMS first, and if I don't hear anything after that first campaign, then I'm going to. Well, first I'll try the second number in line if there's two mobile numbers, and then after that they go through the second 20 days. So at most they're going to go through a 40-day period where they're trying to get texted, and if there's no response to any of those, then I'll take those and I'll then import them into my dialer so that I can try to hit them on the phone, because maybe texting just isn't the best way, the best marketing method to get a hold of that property owner, if that makes sense. Because what I've gathered is the people doing this at scale start with the cheapest form of marketing. For me, that's SMS. Um, Although it could probably be cold calling too, but in terms of cost per like no or cost per lead, even I would think that SMS marketing is probably cheapest. And then what they do is everybody who they haven't hit, so they push it through a conveyor belt. First thing is the cheapest form of marketing, SMS marketing. They get a bunch of no's. They thin the list down, maybe some leads, thin it down, and then after they've tried everybody, a few times through text, then they move them on to the next form of marketing, the next cheapest form of marketing. And in my case, that would probably be cold calling. So I'm just trying to implement that type of a conveyor belt type system where I'm hitting everybody from both angles, both SMS and cold calling them. SMS first because it's going to be the quickest way to get to the no or to sift through the people who are not interested. And then by the time I get on the dialer, it's just a matter of trying to get people on the phone who, as don't typically respond to SMS, or um, maybe the phone doesn't have the capability of receiving texts, or um, stuff like that, or they're actually just looking for that person to talk to on the phone, and don't really feel comfortable doing business at such like a high value in being their house, via text. So what am I trying to do here? Action, 140 contact, import to 20-day campaign on one. Okay, I'm gonna. Oops, no. Oops, I did that really poorly. Yikes, that could have ended bad. I accidentally just tried to import them all at the same time. Hopefully, none of them actually went through. Yeesh. That's why I said this in another video. I don't even know why they have that. The ability to import all at the same time. It should just be drip mode, which I have the option to select, but I have to select it. I just think that's a little silly. I think it should always be in drip mode, personally. Let's see if any of them got it add. How many were there? There were 140. Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Well, no, there's only 54. Oh, my gosh. That could be a disaster. Let me see. Yeah, they all just went out. Oh, my goodness. Ooh. Well, I bought another phone number, thankfully, but that probably just ruined my reputation for these phone numbers. They're probably all getting flagged as spam now. That was what I did not want to happen. Well, I'm gonna have to work from behind a little bit. Gosh, what a disaster. I don't know why that's even an option. So dumb. I guess if you're doing it like just like a handful of people, but that's the last thing that you want, is to just send off a bunch of texts at once. The carriers will notice that, I don't know. I think it's like, I want to say like they don't, like 15 per minute is the max that you should be looking at before the carriers start to flag it. Already getting some responses though. Yikes. See how quickly I can get through these before they start dropping the voicemails, because they will again drop them to the landlines unless I get to it beforehand and try to replace it with a mobile number. There's about a 3 minute about a 3 minute wait after the first text is sent before the ringless voicemail is dropped. Oh my gosh, what a disaster. I'm getting blown up. This is why you want to drip it, because it doesn't matter if these people are even saying yes to me and they want to get on the phone and talk to me about it. I can't handle that amount of inflow. Oh no. Yikes. Well, close out of some of these other tabs. Okay. Bunch of no's. I got somebody who gave me a price. I don't know if it's going to be a reasonable price though. All these voicemails already dropped, so what a disaster. All right. 11.8. Okay. Now I'm going to start going through these. Also, the problem is when you do so many at one time, the system starts to slow down because they have to like load all of the conversation up. At least when I fall behind, because I have to scroll back. I know this probably isn't making much sense, but sorry, I'm really more so having to just deal with the error that I just made than actually narrate through what I'm doing. Getting a lot. Already gotten 11 replies. Just going through every individual finds, pick out all the ones that look like I got an error for texting a landline and then replacing it with that next number in line on that property, which may or may not be another landline, but it's why I'm having to kind of pay attention to it at first to make sure that I'm catching all the ones that are being sent to landlines so I don't waste more money texting them for the next 25 days. Yikes. Mm. Gosh. Start reading off some of these responses in a second here. I'm almost through. Uh, Going through all of the ones that I had sent off by mistake. Almost through it here. Every time you hear me type, I'm essentially identifying a property that, or a number that seems to be a landline, and then replacing it with the next one in line. And what I'm doing when I'm typing too, when I find a number or find a property or see a message rather that I kick back as an error, I'm tagging that property with the tag that I've set up to automatically then replace it with that number. So a lot of stuff's actually happening after I tag it. It's getting rid of the replied tag because I'm getting ready to start the campaign over for the new number, so I don't want it to be tagged as replied. So it's getting rid of the reply tag. It's moving them to a new campaign, which is just a duplicate campaign of the first one. And then what else is it doing? It's replacing the number with the second in line. And then it's marking the no, I think that's it. But it's all happening. That all happens once I tag it with what I'm tagging it with. I'm tagging it with I called it replaced number 2. So if I ever wanted to find a property that has had the phone number replaced with the second in line, I can filter through by the tag replaced number 2. And then I have a replaced number 3 for when this happens, or there's a wrong number. I use the same thing for wrong number as well. So I actually have another automation, another trigger in the background for when somebody says something that contains the phrase wrong number. Then it gets rid of the wrong number tag. It adds this replace number two tag. It marks it as red. It gets rid of the reply tag. And then if somebody says wrong number in the phrase as well in a reply, and then it's already tagged as replace number two, then there's a trigger on the background to then uh, replace that replace number two tag with replace number three, and then switch it out for the third phone number. So there's some automation, but right now there's a whole lot of hands-on manual type stuff that I'm doing because I made that error in importing it with the landlines. But once I get to my next list that's mobile only, I won't have to do any of this manual stuff that I'm doing right now, going through individual phone numbers like this or conversations like this to make sure that I'm texting a mobile, because I would have already cleaned my list before I imported it. Towards the top where some of these have been texted to that second phone number, but those are also landlines. So now I'm taking out the ones that are replace number three, and then now I'm starting to get so far to the top where I've already gone through the first three numbers and they're all errors. So I will then tag it all errors, and I have a trigger in the background which then uh, adds them to my cold call list. Yeah, you're good. All right, have fun. And then, yeah, so that all errors tag replaces the replace number two or the replace number three tag. Does everything that I've been talking about, gets rid of the reply tag, marks it as red. But then that one also replaces or no, when I add an all errors tag, it adds the cold call tag as well. And that trigger, once cold call tag is added, it triggers it to add it to a specific stage in my pipeline, which is um, it's called all errors or um, never responded. So if they get through the whole campaign and we've tried all the numbers, then it will get added to that pipeline stage as well. And once it's in that pipeline stage, that's my kind of cue um, to export that all the people in that pipeline stage and then import them into my dialer. See, so somebody like this, stop, call me. Like this is one where I may want to try the second phone number in line, but this very well could be the guy. But on the background, it picked up on the word stop. I have like triggers for stop, unsubscribe, cancel, quit, all those, type of opt out words, and it will automatically pick it up, tag it as DNC, opt it out of marketing campaigns, and then add it to my DNC pipeline stage. And it will mark it as red, so I don't even really have to see it. Still getting replies here that I haven't really gotten to. I don't plan on. I used to respond to the no's. I'm kind of just scaling back a little bit in terms of what this is actually capable of doing. I used to, just in terms of no's, not interested. That may mean something to some investor or wholesaler, and it can mean something completely different to somebody else. Somebody else may get a no, and they may continue marketing to that person uh, periodically. Whereas me, I don't really have that luxury. I don't have that marketing budget to spend money on people who have said no. I need to go after the lower hanging fruit. So, you have the capability of putting these people into a cold text campaign after they've said no, just to kind of keep in touch. But again, that's going to cost extra money, and you're already marketing to people who said no. But out of those no's, somebody's circumstance will change. Circumstances change, and when you do this at scale and you get 10,000 no's, you're bound to get somebody to change their mind, right? Over the course of like the next 30, 60, 90 days. But to me, I am just going to leave it as a no. I'll mark them as not interested, and I will compile all of my not interesteds. But right now, it's really not worth it to me to actually market to them after they say no. And that also goes. I used to um, text everybody who said no, like with a little bit of kindness to their text, like if they replied about it, like no, thank you. And this is something I still might do. I don't plan on doing it right now, but hitting them with a text saying, you know what, I completely understand. Just so you know, we're actively buying in, your city that will pull dynamically from their property. We're actively buying in your city. We offer up to $1,000 referral fee if we're able to close on the property that you bring us. That is probably worth it to me. I think I want a little bit more marketing spend before I start saying that to every single one of my no's. Again, you need to do something like that at scale to actually have something pay off. I mean, granted, it's going to be you can send off 20,000 of those exact texts for very cheap, and it will if something does come to fruition out of that, the return on investment is going to be huge. But you need to do it at scale, right? You're not going to get somebody to bring you a referral just because you sent that off to 10 people who said no. You're going to have to do that at scale. You can get lucky, obviously, but uh, in order for it to be like repeatable and duplicated, being the referral, you need to do that at scale. I'm sure you need to be. I don't know personally because I've never done it, but I'm sure you're going to have to send off that exact text saying, "Hey, we offer a referral fee," to thousands of people, tens of thousands of people before you actually have somebody come back and say, "Hey, I got a referral for you." Again, not to say that it doesn't happen, because I had one guy before I even told him via text that I offer a referral fee. He brought me a property that he saw on Facebook. He knew what I was doing clearly because I texted him about his property, and he brought me a property. It didn't make sense by any means, but the fact that he brought me something, and then I was like, all right, yeah, keep bringing him. I pay a referral. Then I let him know, to incentivize him to continue bringing me. Hey, we pay a referral fee. If I'm able to close on any of these. Again, not to say that it doesn't happen, but right now I don't have the luxury. It's going to be a give and take, right? With anything, it's like an extra form of marketing, right? It's like by every text that I send off that says that's building my marketing channel of referrals. Just like I'm spending money to cold call and spending money to text, it's damn near like an extra marketing channel by sending off those type of texts to try to get those referrals. It's like, how many of those texts have I sent out? How many texts does it take for me to, how many times do I have to send off that specific text to actually get a referral kickback? It's like you have to, I would imagine, have to like analyze the KPIs and the analytics of just that one single text alone on its own to know whether or not it's worth sending off. Um, if you're doing it at scale, again, to me, I really don't have the money to be just leisurely like conversating. So this all started from me. I was gonna say I don't reply to the no's. If they say not, even if they're like no, thank you, I could easily say like not a problem. Thanks for answering. But there's no point in that. It's just wasted money. They don't want to sell. There's no interest. No point in me continuing the conversation right now. Probably will be worth my time later down the road. Gosh, again, I made the mistake today. I'm never gonna make this mistake again. Uh, Usually, you want to do it in drip mode so that your caller IDs send text every so often. So, like, usually I've been doing like anywhere between 2 to 4 messages per minute. I found that like three is probably the sweet spot, 3 messages per minute cycled between. I now have 3 caller IDs, 3 phone numbers. But today I accidentally didn't click drip mode and it just added them all at once. I was able to stop it before it added like all 140, but I think it added like half of that, maybe more. So I wouldn't be surprised if my number started getting flagged as spam after that. I said it a little earlier, but I think the max that they say is like you don't want to send any more than like 15 per minute, uh, if I'm not mistaken. Let me refresh the screen right here. Jose at 151 is where I'm at. I will lose my spot in the list of conversations if I don't write that down. So that's what I've been doing. So like I'll come here, scroll down until it's 2 right now. So I'll scroll back 9 minutes to 151, figure out where I was. Boom, Jose 151. Getting a phone call. I know 2 area code. I don't know where that's from. Call the client. I have. Can you meet me tomorrow at 2 p.m.? No. Although if he's serious, that's something else that you got to be careful about on text through text. I've heard horror stories. It's never happened to me. I'm not doing this at scale again, but people will mess with you. You think that you're texting the property owner when really you're just texting some random person who's going to try to mess with you and get you out to the property, schedule a showing. I've heard horror stories of that, just online, watching YouTube videos. People talk about that and through texting specifically because you don't have that gauge of whether or not this person is serious. So like I never plan on scheduling an appointment with somebody without actually getting on the phone with them first. And I would recommend that you do the same. But I mean, to each their own. That's just that's gonna be a decision that I'm making. Do what you want, but I've heard enough stories about. I've even done that. I've done that when somebody texts me accidentally. I mess with them a little bit just because it's fun. And these people who are pissed off because they keep getting texted for the wrong person or whatever, like, oh my god, my name's Derek. Why does this person keep texting me about Mike and this property that I don't own? You know, I'm gonna start messing with these people. Anybody who calls me next, I'm gonna mess with them. Anybody who texts me, I'm gonna schedule. I'm gonna waste their time. You know what I mean? So you got to be careful. Not to say that's gonna happen every single time, obviously, but that is something that I'm making a point to pay attention to. It just seems like if it's, I think the rule of thumb that I'm gonna stand by is like if it seems too good to be true, it probably is, right? You don't just text somebody randomly, "Hey, have you thought about?" I mean, maybe you do, right? Have you thought about selling your property? Yeah, can you come to my house and meet me tomorrow? It's like I don't know. What do you think? Is that too good to be true, or is this a hot lead? Just the hottest lead that I've ever had. You know what I mean? Because that's sure as how it would definitely be the hottest lead I've ever had if he was like, "Yeah, can you meet me tomorrow?" I'm gonna text him back. I'm still going through my messages here, but I'm just thinking I'm almost through here. Text him back, probably like, yeah, I'd love to. Uh, yeah, I'd love to hop on the phone real quick, learn a little bit about the property to see if um, we're a good fit first. Is now a good time to call, and then I'll try to pick up in his voice, on whether or not he's lying or not, um, or just trying to mess with me. Hopefully that's not the case, and hopefully he is serious. Hopefully he needs help. Hopefully he's not impersonating somebody who could use my help, because if he ends up wasting my time, then that's just one other person who I'm unable to help because of him and his antics. 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 All right. All right. Think I'm through all of them. They're going to keep popping up here once in a while because I'm replacing the phone number and it's going to send it back out automatically. So I'm going to give it like one more minute here. They're starting to send out. They're looking good too. They're not getting error kickbacks. All right. Now I'm at Shaw at 205. All right. Let's go through all of these unreads, all these replies. This guy said never. I'm going to go through all the no's first and just tag them appropriately as not interested. What that's going to do is it's going to get rid of the reply tag. It's going to take them out of the campaign. It's going to move them from replied to not interested in the pipeline. No, not interested. And I kind of am just starting to trust that it's going to do all that stuff, although sometimes it doesn't. But for the majority of the time, it does. All those triggers work. And I would think that if it doesn't work, then it's either a mistake that I've made in all my automation setup in the back end, or I'm just being impatient and it takes some time, because sometimes it does take a few seconds. Have you given this is not Bob, sorry. So what I'm going to do is go in here. I'm going to I'm going to replace number 2, replace with the second phone number. Save that. It's going to, again, move them to the duplicate campaign, which is the phone, just the same campaign, just labeled phone 2. It gets rid of the reply tag. And then I'm going to mark this as red. It should do that automatically. It's something that I should take note of. So never. Is it not interested? No. This guy, fuck you, motherfuck you. It should have picked up on that. It's that when he said fuck you both times, he didn't put a space in between. So it's FUCKYOU space mother space FUCKYOU. I just put the trigger in to pick up on all these swear words, but it needs to be isolated. So this is, I'm going to mark DNC. I'm going to mark it, tag it DNC. It's going to opt it out of the marketing campaigns. It's going to remove it from the current campaign, and then it's going to push it to the DNC portion, pipeline stage. No, not interested. No thanks. Not interested. Not for sale. Not interested. No. Not interested. No, thank you. Not interested. So you can see how effective this is. I mean, granted, these are all no's, but you get to that no so much quicker and so much easier. And again, it's so cheap and fast to to narrow and thin your list. That way, when I go to cold call, I don't have to spend the 30 to 60 seconds to connect with these people on the phone just to have them tell me no. You know what I mean? It just makes my next form of marketing, which for me is cold calling, that much more efficient because I'm only calling people who I have either never gotten a hold of, um, or two, it's a landline. So I didn't have the ability to text them and get to that no. Not interested. No, thank you. Again, I'm just tagging all these people as not interested, and then it does some stuff in the background to clear it off my plate. No, I do not want to sell. Okay, so I have three messages that I'm going to pay a little bit more attention to. One of them, the first one is them telling me 350K cash. I'm going to quickly just pull them up. I'm going to go to general info. I'm going to push it to Zillow so that pulls it up in Zillow in a separate tab. It's going to tell me what the Zestimate is. 279 is the Zestimate. They want 350 cash. I'm going to pull up PropStream real quick and just get a general idea of whether or not I want to push this person into my realtor referral campaign, in which I pretty much, if I were to put them in that campaign right now, I would just simply tag them as realtor referral, and then it automatically adds them into a campaign, and they get a message automatically, that first message within seconds saying, you know what, that may be a little bit too high for me as an investor. But if the condition is up to par, I don't think that you would have a hard time getting that if you listed it on market through a realtor. Have you considered that? And I just get right to it, right? And then if they don't reply to that, it's that campaign. It's again a separate realtor referral campaign, so they get dripped over the course of like a few weeks, where they're getting asked, "Hey, I know you were talking about possibly listing it the traditional route. Have you given any more thought to that?" Until they say no, stop texting me. Because that very well could be what this person is just trying to do, is trying to be an ass about it, and is just like, yeah, 350,000, you know. But it's like in this case, it's not too far off. Where if the comps, the rehab comps are going for higher, in my market, I typically find that like you could probably get an ARV of like 10 to 20% higher than the Zestimate sometimes. So the Zestimate right now is about 280. PropStream is telling me 286 is the estimated value. They have two properties. This one, I believe, is not. It's absentee owned. Of course, that's what this list is. So let me pull up the comparables real quick. Just run something really quick. Residential, single family. Again, because this is already out of my price range, I'm just determining whether or not this is worth my time to try to push to try to get a realtor referral out of it. 1950 and 1960, say 1,200 square feet to 1,700 square feet. No properties in the area that sold within the last year. Let's try to push the year built back a bit, 14 years back and 16 years forward. And now we got a lot of properties. Let's pull it down to a quarter mile instead of a half mile. Try to keep it in the same subdivision here. And we got two within the same subdivision, but neither of them were sold. That's the problem. They were both being rented. Damn, that's so annoying. Let's just try to pull back the timeline a bit, another 6 months. See if anything comes up in a quarter mile within 18 months. Okay, I got one extra property right here. Sold for 555. That's what I'm talking about. See, this is the stuff. Oh, the lot on this one is tiny. All the lots in the area are like 5,000, 6,000, and our lot is 1,400 square feet. Really weird. Tiny little lot. It's like a really odd home. It's like an inverted where the house is on top and the garage is on the first level. I'm gonna pull it up in Redfin real quick. This is again not something that I typically want to do, but it will only take me a quick second. What I do is put the zip code in Redfin. I isolate like where it is on the map so that I can kind of just zoom in on Redfin. All right. That way I can remove the outline and draw myself where I want my boundary to be. Um, I lost where I was for a second. Okay, here we go. Something like that. Make sure that I'm looking at the right. Yeah, okay. All right. Houses that sold within the last 1 year, square feet, 1,000 to 1,500. Ours is 1,250 on the dot. Oh no, ours is 1,500. It says on Zillow, but on PropStream it says 1,250. Maybe I go with 1,500 just in case. Lot size max, I'm gonna say 4,500, which gives me like nothing. All right, so it gives me these two that sold in August and April of this year. Let's just check the lot sizes on this first. Doesn't even give me the lot size. I don't even think there's a lot to it. It's just the house is what it is. Because it's not giving me the lot size. I think that may be the case for this one too. Lot size 1,500 square feet, so just like ours. So okay, this may be a good one. 1965 built. Ours is built 1954, so theirs is like 11 years newer. 2 1.5. Ours is 2 2.5. So if this one sold for 315, let me see what this one sold for. I'm gonna pull it up in PropStream just in case. And she's asking for 350 again, so she's at it. I might just literally mark her as not interested and not waste my time. This one sold for 310. This one sold for 310 back in April, and now it's estimated at 420. So it's over 310. Ours has an extra bathroom. I think ours probably gets sold for 320. This one's 1312 square feet. If ours is 1,500, then I think ours could probably sell for 340. About the same lot size. They have about 11 years newer. I'd say like 330 is probably ARV. 320 maybe. This other one sold for 320 2 months ago. 2.2. So ours could probably sell for 325. This one 1326 square feet. 325. I'd say 340. This one's about 11 years newer too. So I'd say like 325, 330 on ours. 325, 330. She's asking 350. 350 cash. I'll hit her with the realtor referral. Just for the reps, I'll tag realtor referral. It's going to then get rid of the reply tag. It's going to bring her out of the general campaign. It's going to put her into the realtor referral campaign and then move them to the realtor referral pipeline stage as well. should do all of those things at least. Although I'm not really seeing them do any of those things. The next person that I wanted to give a little bit of attention to is this person who said 450,000. This is one where I think is probably really out of the price range. I don't know though. Some people have. I've realized that this list in particular, I didn't vet. Okay, no, yeah, this estimate's 205 on this one, so this is not one that I'm gonna even bother comping. I'm just gonna simply mark. Um, I don't think I have a trigger for when I want to tag them as high asking price. I remember making that tag, and then also because I don't want to say that they're not interested. They're just giving a high asking price. So I think I want to separate those. So I'll just save it with the new tag, high asking price. That's gonna bring them out of the campaign. It'll bring them out of the campaign once they reply, and they're still under the replied opportunity. So then I'm just going to delete this opportunity so that it doesn't clog up my pipeline. I don't want to even look at it. It's not worth. It'll remain in my contacts and it will remain tagged high asking price. So whenever I want to go maybe call through all of the people who I texted and gave me a high asking price, I can go pull that from the contacts. But I don't want it to like flood my pipeline. I don't want to look at it. What's going on? Whoever just dropped in, appreciate you giving me the like. Right now I'm texting. I made a mistake, man. I plan on going through my last bit of people who I accidentally, the first time I imported the list into this new SMS software, this text blast software, I accidentally imported a list that had landlines on it. I didn't go through and clean my list first. So I'm wasting a bunch of money texting landlines. It'll kick me back an error, giving me the error that says, hey, you're texting a landline. So it's required me to go through individually through every text to make sure that I'm not continue because it won't stop. It'll continue to send the messages on the drip schedule. They get texted maybe like 5 or 6 times throughout the first 20 to 30 days after I add them to the campaign. So I've been needing to go through every single text, every single message to, if it's kicked back with an error of a landline, try to replace it with the next number for that property. If that one's a landline as well, replace it with the next one. I have up to 3 phone numbers. So the problem was when doing this, if you want to drip it, right, you want to stagger the text as they go out. One, so that you can actually handle the inflow of replies to all those texts, and two, so that your phone numbers don't get flagged as spam. There's like a threshold, right? A limit as to how many texts you should send per minute or per hour before the carriers like AT&T and Verizon start to pick up on your caller ID and look at it and like, yo, this is way too many texts. They're probably abusing this phone number and using it for something unethical or illegal, not compliant. And then they'll just flag it as spam and then not allow you to send out any texts and likely not receive any either. But I made the mistake of not adding. So what you want to do is you want to do the math a little bit and be like, what I've been doing is about 3 texts every minute for an hour. So I can get through, almost 200, 180 in an hour. But again, it's gonna send off the messages every minute. CWL type. Just got my first deal under contract. No way. Friday. Wish me luck with closing in 2 weeks. No way. Congratulations. That's awesome. That is awesome. And you're doing it in Houston too, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you're locking it up out in Houston. That's amazing. Tell me how. Well, I want to know a few things. One, I want to confirm what market you're in. I believe you're in Houston. I believe you told me that doing it virtually from out here in California too. Two, I want to know just like the progression of this lead, how it came to be. How did you, what list did it come from? Did it come from an absentee owner list? Did it come from a foreclosure list? Did it come from a driving for dollars list? How did you lock it up? Meaning, like, did you text them? How did you get a hold of them? Did you cold call them? And uh, and what type of spread you think is on this deal? How much money you think you can make from it? I want to know all those things. That's awesome. Congratulations again. I remember the feeling. That's great. Now I want to encourage you as well. Don't let up. Don't take your foot off the gas. Getting the contract is one thing, getting it to the closing table is another. I can tell you from experience, I've gotten 5 contracts signed and only 2 of those have closed. So make sure you're staying in constant contact with the seller, even if there's no updates to give him or her. Call them every 2 to 3 days. Hey, just wanted to check in. Just wanted to let you know what we're doing on our end. Again, really looking forward to helping you out here and closing this one out. The title company has done this so far. What we plan to do moving forward is X, Y, and Z. Just want to again, keep you in the loop here. Make sure that you know that we have your best interests at heart. Do that, please do that, because you would think that it doesn't do a lot, but just by reaching out and having a literally that's all you have to say, 30-second, 60-second conversation, it puts their mind at ease, and they're not going to get that seller's remorse. Because as excited as you are, I think you forget that there's somebody else on the other end of this, which is the seller. They're selling you their house. They think that you're buying their house. So make sure that they're not forgotten. Remember why you're doing this, which is to help that person, right? The money comes, but the primary focus here is to help that person through their situation. You're solving their problems. They have pain, and you are able to identify that pain, identify that problem, and offer them a solution. So don't make sure you fulfill your end of the bargain. Congratulations, though. I don't want to take away from that success. That's awesome. 450,000. This guy says through text. Again, I just tagged him as high asking price. And I'm gonna move on. So this one has the realtor referral. Says 350 cash. I tagged it as realtor referral. Got added to the realtor referral campaign. First text went out that says this is in response to them saying 350 cash. I said, okay. As an investor, that would be a bit out of my price range. But if the condition is up to par, I think you may be able to get something close to that if you listed it on market. Have you considered that? Now it's kind of putting it back on them like, hey, were you just giving me that number as bullshit? Or were you actually interested in selling and getting that much for the property? Because if you were, again, I'm offering them a solution. If you really are interested and you really do want that number and it wasn't just some BS number that you through out, here is a solution. Have you considered listing it on market? I think you probably could get that. Like just by coming with that, it's like a pre-qualifying question in itself. I'm calling them on their BS. 350 cash. Okay, that's a little high for me, but you could sell it this way. Again, if they're really interested, they're gonna say, okay, yeah, I've never thought of that. Tell me more. Michael Wilson, this is the guy. Okay, he says, okay, this is actually in response to a few texts, so this isn't the first time. So I texted Michael the first time on November 1st saying, hi, Michael, have you given any thought to parting ways with your address? Can we talk about it? I dropped him a voicemail, no response. November 2nd, hey, Michael, I reached out yesterday about your address. Are you free to talk today? Dropped a voicemail, no response. November 3rd, hey there, just following up on the text I sent. Did you have a number in mind that you'd be hoping to get for it? No response. 1 minute later, just in case I didn't mention this, any condition is okay with us. We can pay all closing costs and you wouldn't have to pay any fees. 5 days later, I haven't texted him in 5 days. He just texted me saying, I have. Can you meet me tomorrow at 2 p.m.? Which is really interesting. I just got another reply. Property is not for sale. Thanks. Tag them not interested. Michael Wilson. I'm going to text him back saying, how do I respond to this? I have. Can you meet me tomorrow at 2 p.m.? Yeah. Yeah. I could send somebody out. I'd love to learn a bit about the property first to see if we're a good fit. Did you have a moment to talk? Yeah, I could send somebody out. I'd love to learn a bit about the property first to see if we're a good fit. Did you have a moment to talk? Boom. Send him that. So now I'm starting to think that this guy actually is not messing with me, unless he's messing with me 5 days after the fact. If you know what I mean. Sorry, my broom's crazy. I did laundry, so it's everywhere. But At first, I thought he was messing with me just in response to that very first text that I sent out. But now I realize I've sent this guy like five, six texts already. And he's replying to me 5 days later. I haven't sent him a text in 5 days. So he like probably was seeing my text and thinking to himself, now this is the impression that I'm under. I'm under the impression that he is interested in selling. He saw all of my texts in the beginning, but was either in the middle of something and didn't want to reply, or maybe was embarrassed to reply, didn't want to like deal with it. But now he's like in this moment, he's thinking to himself, I need to sell that place. Let me go back to those texts that that guy was just sending me over the past week or two. Let me see if let me see what he says. Let me see if I can have him come out tomorrow to meet me because I'm ready to sell. That could be the case. So hopefully he responds something favorable right now. I just said, yeah, I could set somebody out. I'd love to learn a bit about the property first to see if we're a good fit. Did you have a moment to talk? So I'll kind of just monitor that, see if he replies, and if he does, I'm gonna try to get him on the phone ASAP. It took me like a half hour to reply to that guy, so that's something that I don't want to make a habit of. Again, only because I don't know if I even finished my thought, but I made the mistake earlier of not adding these contacts into this campaign in drip mode. So I texted like 100 plus people all at the same time. So I was needing to kind of work from behind, but I'm all caught up now. I actually do have more people that I want to add to this before the day is up. Um, see how many more people just to finish off this list. This list that has landlines in it too. So the tag is Harris County out of county absentee. No activity on these. So let's see. Oh, what? I think it added all of them. I canceled it, but let's see the stats. Yeah, it sent off all of them. There's only one error. I think it was because I accidentally tried canceling it before that one went out, but I sent off 139 texts successfully. So I'm gonna hop back into the contacts and find that last one and just add that one to the campaign. Just send him a text real quick. Go back to the conversations, make sure that now I'm so curious about Michael. I really wonder if he is just yanking my chain. Um, well, that's all the texting I will probably do today. That was 140. It was a little bit less than what I usually have been. I've been doing 200 a day, but this was just the end of the list, so I wanted to get through that. Just want to mark that down. I'm keeping track of all my stats. Now I kind of want to transition and do some. Oh, did he reply? I don't know. Want to transition and do some follow-ups. I had some follow-ups that I was wanting to do. Some people, one woman in specific that I forgot about, she told me that she needed to the end of October, and I was planning on following up with her November 1st, but I had been doing so many things with this new texting and stuff like that, and just trying to wrap my head around my new dialer. That's where I'm using my follow-ups. I think I may even just switch to a paper type of thing where I'm writing down all my follow-ups on paper because I really don't like the follow-up, the calendar events within Call Tools Dialer. Um, but let me pull it up. I'm gonna give some people a call. Calendar events. Uh-huh. All right. I'm gonna go to the last page because it seems to be out of order typically. Um, Today is November 8th, so I'm looking for anything before then. Catherine Lewis. Catherine Lewis, interested in selling, but she had surgery recently. This was on the 7th of August. Sorry, one second. All right, 2nd of August. She wanted to wait about 2 months after the surgery because she wanted to recover. I ran the comps, determined if it was going to be like a full rehab on this place. I could offer about 40,000. Connected with the seller on the 1st of September. When I brought up the property, she hung up on me and I tried to call back. And after like a couple rings, she dropped the call. So I left a voicemail with her and haven't talked to her since. Uh, the second last time I called her, it sounded like she was screening her calls, what I mentioned, and and that she hung up on me. If that makes sense. So I'm just gonna give her a call, try to get her on the phone, see if she's still interested in selling. If she is, I'd love to make her an offer. If not, completely understand. Just want to be there for her if she needs some help. I hesitate to call her off of my Google Voice number because this is like my quote unquote cell phone for my market. So I hesitate to like call people like this back because if she starts picking up on the fact, well, these aren't mobile numbers, so maybe she won't be able to block me. Let's see.
Hello?
Hey, Miss Lewis.
Hello?
Hi, Miss Lewis. This is Derek. Sorry if I caught you at a bad time, but we've been going back and forth about you. She hung up on me. She might just know who I am at this point. So this is one where I'll probably, well, I'll leave a note for myself saying, uh, seller answered, hung up once Derek introduced himself. Derek thinks she is avoiding him. Um, this one's so hard because she told me that she wanted to sell. So, it may be one. This is what I'm gonna do actually. Uh, I'm going to refer to coach for these. I'm gonna start picking out leads here and there to pass off to my coaching program because they're willing to JV. They're willing to call and lock up the deal for me, um, and then help me on the dispo side of things as well. So I just want to start maximizing on opportunities. So it's like I don't know if she's hanging up on me because she isn't interested in selling, if she's already sold, if she just doesn't want to deal with it, but she is interested. You know what I mean? There's just so many reasons, and she's clearly doing it intentionally. She's not if she didn't want to sell too, she would just tell me that she didn't want to sell. Please stop calling me. But her hanging up on me is like there's a hidden something behind there, that I have to uncover. Um, so I'll do that tomorrow. Oh, this is the woman. All right, Alice. Alice, me and her had already come to an agreement on price, which was 62,000. She thinks that the previous investor filed a memorandum, which is preventing her from selling. She's owned it for 25 years. She has been having tenant issues. They have difficulties paying rent, and they kind of don't take care of the place. Possible foundation issues. It needs a central AC. Has a new roof. So I agreed with her to the 62,000. Let's see what this is. I remember it being pretty tight. The only reason I agreed to it is because this was the lowest that she would go, which was the agreement that she came to with the prior investor. The Zestimate 95,000. ARV. I actually didn't. I don't have any notes here. I know I comped it out. Um, let's comp it out real quick. Real quick. None of this slow comp stuff. And this is the woman who said that she wanted to get a hold of the other investor who had pretty much done her dirty. And I'm trying to all but tell her that, like, hey, you got played by this other investor. They never intended on buying your property. They just gave you what you wanted. And now you have to go through him or her in order to actually even sell. All right. No comps. Um, wonder why. Maybe there's just no properties this old. Let's try pushing it up to 19. Okay, so there's one comp. 175,000. About 3/10 of a mile away. Doesn't really cross any main roads. It's not nearly in the same subdivision, but it's close. Again, 3/10 of a mile away. Oh, this one has 6 bedrooms. So 135, another 115. No, it's not even a comp. Let me run the comps. Redfin now. I just want to make sure that I'm not giving this woman something that I actually can't deliver on. This is a Driving for Dollars property. I'm working this specific area, this specific zip code. Which street are we looking at? Right there. Remove the outline and draw. Properties right here in this little pocket. Houses sold in the last year, 1,100 square feet. So I'm gonna make the minimum 750, the maximum 1,500. Lot size is a little over 7,000. I'll make the minimum 45. I'll make the maximum a quarter acre. There's just nothing in this area. Let's push it back 2 years. Last 2 years, still nothing. Remove the outline, see if anything in this area has sold. I just don't think it has. Now my Redfin's frozen. Let me refresh. Man, come on. Internet's going the slowest. Yikes. My goodness. All right, let's see these properties for sale close by. 160, 4 bed, 2 bath, 1600. No, there's another one 160. That's just a lot. Yeah, not a lot of stuff is selling in this area. All right, this one sold for 169. Oh my god, it's significantly bigger than ours. 800 square feet bigger than ours. It's right on that same street though. Man, all these are just way bigger in square footage. Here we go. Here we go. 3-1. Ours is a 2-1. This one sold for 119, I think. Let's confirm. Doesn't say what it sold for, but it has an estimated value on prop stream of 108. It says on Redfin that was last listed for 120, so let's just assume it sold for 120, meaning ours would sell for 110. Theirs is about 150 square feet smaller, so I think ours could sell for 125. This one about the same size lot and 10 years newer. So what did I say? 120, 110, 125. There's just 10 years newer. I'd probably say like 115, 120 is our ARV. So I mean, it would have to have pretty minimal repairs. If ARV was 120 times 0.92, call it 0.94. 120 times 0.94 minus, let's just say 25. If I wanted to take down a $5,000 assignment fee, which puts us around 88. Well, okay, I'm sorry. This property right here was not fully fixed up. It looked like it was vacant, but probably didn't need much in repairs. So you probably could get another, calling all investors, to be sold as is. Utilities not connected. So you might have been able to get another probably 15, 20,000 out of this, which may drive our ARV upwards of like 135. But yeah, if the property doesn't need like any more than like 35,000 in renovation, then I could probably take down like a $10,000 assignment fee. Let me give her a call. I know I said quickly, but that's exactly why you don't run comps before you call them.
Please leave your message for.
All right, I'm gonna let it breathe for a second, then I will call back. Let me hop back over here to the text messages, make sure I'm not. Okay, no more have gone out. So I sent off 140 today. I'm probably gonna kick that up to finish it out. Let me see how many I wanted to send off. I think 500 this week. Yeah, I wanted to send off 500. So I think let me check while I'm letting that breathe for a second. I just imported a new list yesterday. Um, this was a list that I had cold called before, but these are all the people who I have never contacted. Um, Let me figure out how many of those I had to make sure I'm going to hit my goal tomorrow. Here she goes. She's calling me back. Hello? Hello? Hey, Alice? Yeah, is this Alice? Alice, how's it going? This is Derek. We've been going back and forth about your property on Edgeworth Street. Oh, okay. Did something happen? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Mm. Yeah, I remember you mentioning that, and I'm so sorry that that happened to you. Um, so what's gonna happen if you never are able to get a hold of them? Are you just never gonna sell? Yeah. Yeah, you know what? And to be quite honest, when I hear you tell me that story, I probably have to agree. I think that the guy just wants to get paid. He's making it difficult for. Oh, she hung up on me. I was gonna try to turn that conversation around. She says she's not interested in selling only because of this hurdle, this obstacle. So I'm wanting to try to solve that for her. It is something that I think I'll be able to handle at my title company. I think that the other investor just filed a memorandum of contract, which is preventing her from selling to anybody else. But I'm just trying to let her know that that's something that we can address uh, at my title company. We can figure all that out for her. I don't want her to feel like she has to do all that. Hey, Alice.
please leave your message for
Hey, Alice. Sorry, I think I lost connection there. I completely understand what you're saying. I know that the other investors seem to, put you in this position where you'd like to sell. Based off what I'm hearing, is you want to sell, but he's made it quite difficult for you to do so. I just want to remind you that we had come to that agreement at 62,000. I'm still willing to honor that offer if it's something that you're interested in, and I want to reassure you that I can take care of the other investor. Okay, I just got a text from you that said that you had an emergency. So I look forward to hearing a call back from you. Again, just want to reiterate and reassure you that that's something that I can take care of for you on your behalf. I don't want you to feel like, there's all of these obstacles and these hurdles that you have to jump through in order to sell your property. This offer that I'm making you is something that I'm willing to honor. And again, want to reassure you that I'll help you out in any way that I can in order to get that done. So I look forward to hearing back from you, and I'll talk to you soon. Um, she had texted me right when I was leaving her a message saying that she had an emergency at work and that she would call me back. That does seem to happen with her. She works in a hospital, and that was what she had mentioned was what the other investor used as an excuse. They said that she didn't fulfill her obligations to the contract because she was never taking their phone calls, and she was telling me the story, and she was like, well, it's because I'm always at work. I can't just be taking phone calls all the time. Like, what do you want me to say? You know what I mean? So I completely get that. um Seller said she was no longer interested. Derek dug deeper and figured out she is only saying that because of the memorandum that's filed. She thinks that the other investor gave her a bogus company name info and that it is not even a real company. I'm going to tell her that I'm going to get my lawyers involved. I want to make sure that she's getting taken care of. I don't want the only reason that she's unable to sell her property is because this other bad apple put this thing in place that's preventing her from doing so. So I want to fight for her. I want to be on her side. I want to do everything in my power that I'm able to do in order to buy her property from her. Whether it be me or somebody else. She clearly wants to sell. She's told me that she wants to sell. She has told me, and I'm going to reiterate what she's told me. You've let me know that you've owned it for 25 years. You were having some tenant issues. They were having some difficulties paying rent, and you mentioned that they don't really take good care of the place. The condition is starting to slip and fall apart because they don't take good care of it. You were mentioning that it does need a new AC unit, and there may be some possible foundation issues. So what with how you're describing it to me, I would think that you're wanting to wipe your hands clean with it. You don't want to deal with all those things, and I'm willing to take it as is. I'm willing to pay you cash for it as is. I'm willing to get you that $62,000 as is. You don't have to put any more work into the property or money. But I'm only going to be able to go to bat for you and fight for you if we have an agreement in place, right? So there's no harm in you signing an agreement, and I understand you've been burned before, clearly. So I would like to, I completely understand that the fact that you're not trusting like you used to be. You've lost some faith in humanity now that somebody has come around and essentially scammed you, and I completely understand that. And this is all, I say this out loud right now, but this is all stuff that I'm going to reiterate to her once I get her on the phone. This list here, so I have 396. Of this list that I just added into my texting platform. So I will definitely be able to get my 500 after sending off 140 today. I will be able to send off 100. What is that? 300, 360 tomorrow. I'm gonna do 360 tomorrow. I'm gonna go with heavy SMS day tomorrow, 360, and then have a little. Maybe I'll just go through all of them. 396 records. It'll be my biggest day, texting, but maybe not. I don't know because these are all mobile numbers too. So I'm actually gonna have to scale it back a little bit because I've been sending off 400 texts, but half of them have been going to landlines. You know what I mean? I wanted to leave a note for myself just in case she doesn't call back. To call her back in a few days. A little bit, like an hour or two from now, this time of day, because she typically is at work. Call Victor Ramos here. I have ARV on this one, 195. With 60,000 estimated repair. It seems to be just a full gut rehab. Let me pull up my cheat sheet for. Oh wow, my guy might cancel. Yeah, he canceled his Christmas on me. I don't remember what it was now. That's funny. This guy was only sharing this note with me. I should have taken a screenshot. Maybe I did. Let me check. I don't think I did. That's so fucking funny. Oh well. Now I gotta go off memory. I'm pretty sure I was going 15. I mean, I know for the most part. Property is how big. Property's 1,500 square feet. It needs, I think, everything. So yeah, I estimated 60. It was going to be a full gut rehab. That was conservative though. He hasn't really given me anything on the condition. So 195 is the ARV. I essentially know where I'll have to be. 1,500 square feet. Let's see, 195. I would need to be at 120 on a light rehab. Could go upwards of oh no, yeah, 120 on a light rehab, 100 on an average, and like 80 on a heavy. Yeah. So on this, if it was a heavy, I'd be at like 60K. 60K MAO. Is that what I have for myself? Oh no, I have it way higher. Why is that? 60,000. 195 times 0.92 minus 25 buyer profit minus 20,000 assignment minus 60K. Yeah, it should be okay. 75 MAO. 75 MAO for a $15,000 assignment fee or $20,000 assignment fee. So I can go upwards of like 80. But anyways, let me get him on the phone first. Victor Ramos, there he is.
Victor Ramos, please give us your name and number, and I'll get back with you as soon as I can. Thank you, and have a great day.
No answer. He knows it's me. Last time I tried him was the 26th of October. I'll call him and say, "File did not leave voicemail." And then I'm going to push this out. I'm going to start pushing it out monthly. Or at least bi-weekly. I'll start pushing it out. Well, no, I'll start pushing it out monthly. And I'll leave a little note for myself, monthly follow-up. Francisco, this is the guy with the lot. 50K for the lot. Built and sold 2 years ago. Sold 8 months ago. Exact same size lot, a bit further away from the subject property. How much I went for? Just to make sure that my numbers are still accurate. This one went for 350 last year. Redfin estimate's already 383. Assuming that it could sell for about 380 nowadays. Well, let's just use 350 because that's the comp. 350 times, let's say somebody's willing to pay a quarter, 25. of that for the land, they'd be at 87. Even if they were at 20%, they'd be at 70. So I can definitely do 50. Again, this one's a little bit further out of the way though. I don't remember how far out of the way, but it's the exact same lot size. This one was built and sold 2 years ago, about 100 square feet per lot, which isn't that big of a deal. 1,200 square feet on the lot isn't that big of a deal. This one sold for 375, or was listed for 375 at least. So 350 is actually conservative. I think that's a good bet. I can quickly pull it up. Scan this zip. Oh no, I can't just scan the zip code. He tried to sell it on market too for 60,000, and it failed 2 years ago. He's only owned this for 2 years, so weird. I just wanted to figure out where it was specifically. Yeah. So remove outline. Houses that were sold in the last 2 years. No parameters other than the minimum year built being 2019. Which brings it down to 39 homes. Houses that were sold in the last 2 years, built 2019 or newer. 39 homes. Wow. I didn't realize there was so much new construction here. Okay, these are all not as high as the others though. So 270 is the highest, 265. Let's see if it's gonna can sort it by time on right then. No, address location. So in this area, it looks like 270, 265 is gonna be the best. Oh, that's what I need to do. I need to filter it off by lot square footage. So lots 9,300. So lot size minimum 8,000, maximum quarter acre. So yeah, okay, these ones. That's why I got this 350, but really like 280 I think is the better play. This one just sold 280, just as far as this other one's 350 though. I think this is more accurate though. 280. 280. So at 20%, I'd be right at 56. So yeah, this is pretty much, I would need to hope to find a builder that's willing to pay upwards of 25% to get me like 70. But let's call him and see if he's given it more thought. He's supposed to talk with his wife about it. That was last time I talked with him was the 20th of October. If I remember, his box is full. Hey, Francisco, this is Derek. Just giving you a ring. We've been going back and forth about your lot there on North 7th Street out in LaPorte. Just wanted to round back, see if you had a chance to speak with the wife about it. Just as a reminder, we're looking at 50,000 cash for that lot there, and we're able to close, on your timeline. So if you're wanting to get paid on it sooner rather than later, that's something that we'd be able to do for you. Go ahead, give me a call back if it seems like something that you might be interested. Talk to you soon. Bye. Save voicemail. I'm gonna start pushing this one out monthly for sure, because this is like just kind of a long shot. Worth it because he's considering. Just call him every once in a while, but not really worth it to just like be calling him every week for him to keep telling me he has to think about it. Okay. At one point, I connected with this guy. I mentioned not right now, but maybe in the future. And then I connected with his wife just the other week. Said that she needed to speak with her husband and that he would be home in a few hours. So I'm gonna give them a call, see if it's something that they're interested in.
The Magic Jack customer you have called is unavailable to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
I don't know if that's the right number. I have 3 phone numbers here for them. I'm only imagining that I've been calling the first one. That's the problem again with call tools. But I'm gonna give it a second and I'm gonna call that number back. I just was quickly running some comps to try to get an idea of what things are going for in the area. Yeah, these are all, I think, workable. All built pretty much around the same era, 50 to 70 lot square foot, similar across the board. There we go, 157. A little bit bigger extra bath, 147, 137, 145, 140, 140. Yeah, ours ARV is probably 135, 140. MAO of 947 square feet. If it was 140 ARV. Anywhere from 35 to 75, depending on condition. Try it back one more time.
The Magic Jack customer you have called is unavailable to take your call.
I'll leave a
Please
voicemail.
leave a message after the tone.
Hello, this message is for Mr. or Mrs. Perez. My name is Derek. I think I've actually spoken to both of you at one point in time about your property over on Sweetbriar Street. I just wanted to round back, see if you guys had given any more thoughts to possibly parting ways with that property there. My partner and myself are looking to pick up one to two more properties in the area before the end of the year, and we are able to pay cash. So if it's something that you're interested in, please feel free to give me a call back. In case caller ID didn't pop up here, my direct line is 832. I'll talk to you soon. Um, that voicemail. I'll start pushing this one out weekly for now. Her last buyer backed out after inspect. Oh, this is that woman. Says she's going to fix the AC herself and try to get her 155. Um, Derek offered 110 to 130. She seemed a bit open, but said at the moment they're not budging yet. Derek explained option of listing it on market. She was opposed to that as well. Derek received permission to follow up in 1 month. I said dig a bit deeper on condition and make an offer. 120K for a light repair, carpet paint, 100K for an average repair. Yeah, because I still don't know anything about this property. That's one where that's a very difficult seller, and honestly, somebody that I'm not wanting to deal with at this moment. Properties in probate, no interested in selling at the moment. Okay, yeah, I've never actually talked with this woman. Um, this is somebody my partner spoke with a while ago. I'll give her a call. Property was in probate, no interested in selling at the moment. This was from April of this year when he talked with her. Asked when I should follow up, and she got emotional and she said, "Give me like 10 years," and hung up right away. Seems like the death was recent, so I'll give her a call. Um, See if they've done anything with the property. How far along the probate process was, stuff of that nature. If we get into that, if I even get them on the phone.
Hello?
Hi, is this Miss Spikes?
Oh,
I'm sorry, I was looking for the owner of a property on New Tree Lane. Do I have the correct number here?
yeah, that would be me.
Oh, hi there. My name is Derek. I think a while back you spoke with my partner Peter in regards to that property, and you had let him know that there might be some interest in selling it. Just wanted to round back, see if you've given it any more thought, and kind of pick your brain to see if you were interested in selling that property there.
No, I'm not interested right now.
Oh, okay. Okay. Completely understand. Do you think that you might be in the near future at all, or it's something that you're just wanting to hold on to?
I don't really know right now.
Okay. Not a problem. When would you say kind of is a more appropriate time for me to follow up? I'd love to just kind of keep in touch with you in case anything comes up.
I don't know, just try again, maybe after the year.
Sure, sure. Okay. And what was your name, just so that I can have it written down here correctly?
My name is Demetria England. My mother got the wife. She died in 2018.
Oh, okay. I'm
House
so
is currently, I'm in the court right now
Oh, okay, okay, I see. Got it. So there's a little bit of a battle between ownership, huh? Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. And I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. Tammy. Okay, my name is Derek once more, and I completely understand. I hadn't realized. I'm so sorry for your loss. I hadn't realized that's what was going on with the property here, and I completely understand. Not to take up too much of your time, but my mother is actually going through the same exact thing with my grandmother's property. She's at court right now with my uncle, going back and forth. He lives there. He's trying to stay put. She's trying to do right by my grandma and make sure that all the siblings are taken care of. So I completely understand. I get it. Why don't I give you a call, say closer to the beginning of next year, see if any, the dust has settled any. Just, a little bit about myself. It's my partner and myself. We're kind of a little mom and pop investment company here. We work the Houston market. We're looking to pick up, a couple more properties before the end of the year. But once the next year starts up and running, we'll be looking to pick up a few more. We can pay cash. So it kind of, allows us to close on your time frame, and allow everybody to kind of transition comfortably and make it a smooth process for everybody involved. So, yeah, like I said, I'll reconnect with you in the beginning of next year, see if you've given it any more thought, see if the dust has settled, and see if I may be able to help you out. All right. I appreciate you taking the call. I'll talk to you soon. Bye now. Um, so that's cool. That's another one where I guess I could have dug a little bit deeper. She started to open up a bit. Um, I just don't know if it's going to be worth trying to solve a legal problem for her. She's in court right now, trying to argue her case. It sounds like I didn't make that story up. That is exactly what my mom's going through right now. So if it's anything similar to what she's doing, there's a little bit of a dispute as to who retains ownership. Um, if the property were to be sold, who's getting paid. So I have a few leads like that actually in my pipeline. Similar story. But she seems to be the person who would be the decision maker here if it were to happen. Um, her name is Tammy. Spoke with Tammy. Her mother is Miss Spikes, the one who is listed here, who passed away in 2018. She mentioned that she is the one who pays the taxes and HOA fees on it. But that she is in court with her sister now trying to argue her case. I'll put in parentheses, not really sure what that means, but she asked for a call back early next year. I'm going to give her a call back in a month. Maybe like 6 weeks. Any progress in court with her sister? Try to pre-qualify and get her an offer so she at least has it as an option. Because I still don't know if this is going to be like an opportunity for her, right? If she's going to even want to sell for cash, if she even wants to do that. So, you know what I mean? I don't want to assume. Well, I do want to assume that that's what she's wanting to do, but I also don't want to just waste a bunch of my time without pre-qualifying her. I just put the follow up 2 months out, January, early January. Jose is not interested now. Wants me to check in every couple months. I think that was my partner as well from around that same time, April, mid April. So gonna give Jose a call. I really like this area, to be honest. That is really hard to comp and assign values, but I'm gonna do it very quickly. Comp it, that is. Two comps, both of them rented, of course. Pull back another year. Nope, nothing. Push it out a mile. Bring it into 0.75. So this one, about a half mile out, 123,000, 3.2, 103, 110. Ours is probably gonna go for like 100,000. Let me see what this estimate is. I bet you this estimate's right around 80 or 85, right around there. His estimate is 73. Ours is on a main road, it looks like, which makes sense. So what did I say? ARV was going to be like 100,000 pretty much. Like 10, 113, 100,000. Probably like 100,000, 110,000, depending on how many beds it has. I can't see how many beds it has. So anywhere from 100 to 110,000. Oh no, but again, this one's on a main road, so probably 90 to 100,000. Anywhere from 90 to 100,000. Let me give him a call.
Hola.
Hey, Jose.
Hola.
Jose, how's it going? This is Derek. I believe you spoke with my partner Peter a few months back in regards to your property over on North First Street,
Oh,
and just want
what do you need?
yeah, I just wanted to round back with you. I think when you guys talked, you had let him know that you weren't interested at the time, but you would let him know to kind of follow up every couple of months to see if your mind had changed any. So I just wanted to follow up, see if you've given it any more thought, and see if you may be interested in receiving an offer for that property there.
Oh, yeah. Let me talk to my brother, you know.
You sure? Yeah.
Yeah, let me talk to my brother and later you can call, okay?
Okay. You guys own that place right there together?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me talk to him, okay?
All right, yeah, go ahead, talk with him, see if it's something that you might be interested in. Just so you know, it's my partner and myself. We can pay cash, and if it's something that you're wanting to get paid on quickly, we can get it done pretty quick too. If that's something that you're interested in. So
Yeah, I need to talk to him first, you know.
sure, absolutely. Do you think you'll be able to get a hold of him and talk with him about it sometime this week?
I don't know. Let me talk to him maybe tomorrow, okay?
Sure, no problem. I just want to figure out when a better time to follow up with you is. If you're able to talk with him tomorrow, why don't I give you a few days and I'll give you a call towards the end of the week?
Okay.
All right.
Tomorrow, okay?
All right. Sounds good. Thanks for taking the call, Jose. I'll talk to you soon. Bye now. Owns with brother and wants to talk with him tomorrow about their interest in selling. Again, didn't get deep into the pre-qualification. This is one where it was just a very general follow-up. But it wasn't a straight no when we talked to him the first time. Did he talk with his brother? And I tried. This is something that I'm trying to work on, and I tried my best to do it right there. Was to set follow-up expectations, because a lot of times people are going to give you that type of stuff just to get you off the phone, right? Let me talk with my brother. See if it's something that we're interested in. It's just like another excuse. It's the way to dismiss you off of the phone. But if that is the case, it's like, okay, well, when do you think you'll be able to talk with your brother? Tomorrow? Okay. Why don't I give you, you say tomorrow, why don't I give you 3 days just in case? And I'll follow up with you on Thursday around this time. I didn't clarify a time because he was shooing me off the phone, but that's something that I'm really working on, because what I've learned, and what people say, what the pros say is by doing that, your connection rate, your contact rate, your ability to reconnect with that same person at your scheduled follow-up time is much higher than if you just leave it open-ended, like, yeah, I'll give you a call next week. Then they're going to see you call next week, and then they're just going to not answer it. But if you and them came to an agreement, I'm going to call you on Thursday at 1 p.m. and you call them at Thursday at 1 p.m. and they see you calling at Thursday at 1 p.m., they second guess just like hanging up on you, or they second guess just ignoring the call because they had already committed to you that they were ready to talk at Thursday at 1 p.m. So that's something that I'm trying to be better at, is setting more clear and precise follow-up expectations. So I rescheduled that. Let's see. Stated that he did not have time and asked that Derek text him an offer if he wanted to throw one out, and hung up before Derek could say anything else. He did not have time and asked that Derek text him an offer if he wanted to throw one out, and hung up before Derek could say anything else. See what this one looks like. I like the area, like the city. This is where I did my first deal. Oh, this is one that was boo-boo. I don't even think anybody lives here. I would bet big money that this is vacant. Pull up a prop stream and see what they have to say. Occupied for 26 years. Owner occupied. Ooh. Hey. Yes. $134, 16, 20. So this woman owns an acre of land. I just don't know if well, I do know there's a lot of new construction in this area, just not single family residence. Uh, More so like townhomes and little communities. Let me see exactly where property is. See, because this is a mobile home. I want to see one if she owns the land that it sits on, and if so, then I will be able to offer her the land value. Just because we're not really interested in the mobile home, although the mobile home is newer, 2008, so it's like financeable. So we'll be able to. Um, but let me just see. Let me see if there's any new construction going in the area that have sold in the last 2 years that were built minimum 2018 with a lot size of um, minimum a half acre. There's only one property out here, out in the boonies, for 327. Um, so there's just no new construction in on the inside. Um, on the inner, at least nothing that's an acre. Let's just see if there's any all acreage aside. Any new construction that's 2018 or newer that's sold in the last 2 years. $199, $195. Yeah, so you may be able to subdivide the land if it works out to where you can build multiple homes, because this one is sitting on, well, it doesn't say, 0.36 acres. So you will probably be able to build two of these if it makes sense, if it can be subdivided in that manner. It's something that you gotta know the zoning ordinances and stuff, zoning codes, and the clearance of things to know how much room you need, from the sidewalk to the front door or between homes, stuff like that. So I'm pulling it up on Zillow and Google Maps to just trying to get a feel for how the layout of that acre is positioned. To know if it's wide or if it's just long and narrow. If it's long and narrow, you can't really subdivide it, but it is pretty wide. I think you may be able to build two homes here. She may even have two homes here. Trying to get the street view. I think it may be two mobile homes. I'll give her a call. Better to find out from the horse's mouth.
Please leave your message for
I'll leave a voicemail.
93644355541.
Hi, this message is for Norma. My name is Derek. I believe you spoke with my partner Peter about a year ago in regards to your property over on South 3rd Street out in Conroe. At the time, you had let him know that the pandemic kind of put everything on hold, but that you were thinking of doing something with that property there. I just wanted to round back, follow up, see if you've given it any more thought. Just as a reminder, I don't know if he mentioned it, but it's just us two here. We're looking to pick up a property, maybe two more before the end of the year here. We do have some cash on hand, so we can pay cash, and we're able to kind of close on your time frame because of that as well. So if you are looking for a quick close, that is something that we can handle. And if there is something that is needing to kind of wait, or you're looking for a close that may not be as quick, we can also kind of adhere to your timeline. So if that's something that you might be interested in, please feel free to give me a call back. Again, my name is Derek. My direct line is 832-324. I'll talk to you soon. Uh, that was a weird voicemail. That voicemail, follow up with her bi-weekly. See if there's anybody else worth calling right now. I don't really think there is. Yeah, I'm gonna call it quits right there. CWL, I want to congratulate you again. Only person who tapped into this live stream, and maybe at least the only person that commented. Just got my. I want to reread it. Just got my first deal under contract Friday. Wish me luck with closing in 2 weeks. Awesome. If you're rereading this or if you're rewatching this, please feel free to reach out if you need any help in dispositioning that contract there, especially if you're in the Houston market. I have buyers out there that are looking for deals. I know some people, as long as the numbers make sense. So if that's something that you're interested, please feel free to reach out. I'm going to drop my email in the comment section just for anybody who is tapping into this after the fact. Appreciate you if you are tapping into this after the fact and watched all the way through. We're coming on about 2 hours and 15 minutes here. Went through about 150 texts today. Going to send out about twice that, more than twice that tomorrow. And, well, maybe not, something close to it. But yeah, and then I hopped on, made the transition to some follow ups, had a few conversations here and there. Got dodged by one woman who said something came up at work. I don't know if she was lying or telling the truth, but just gonna kind of keep it that one, keep pressing the issue. Again, tomorrow I'm gonna send out a good handful of texts, and then I'm gonna transition into cold calling to the later half of the week and try to just continue finding time to hit my follow ups as well from those leads that I generated through SMS and cold calling. So again, appreciate you if you're tapping in. Do me a favor if you haven't already, hit the like button and subscribe. Comment any recommendations, suggestions that you want to see on content. Ask any questions, comments, concerns in the comment section. I'll be sure to reply. Till the next one. Peace.